The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to TechGig webinar series, our endeavor to empower techies. We believe that sharing of knowledge is the key to enhance our skills and grow us as professionals. With this principle in mind, we've initiated a series of webinars conducted by industry experts to give you all a crisp insight of various domains. The topic of this session is Digital India, a world-scale opportunity within home. And our guest speaker today is Professor Ravinder Dastitop. Professor Ravinder is an educator and speaker on cloud computing. He currently works as Assistant Professor, Department of Computer Science and Engineering at SDM College of Engineering and Technology in Karnataka. In 2004, he spent a sabbatical with Infosys, Bangalore, where he studied the knowledge management systems. Being part of many conferences, he has taken up different roles of paper presenter, chairing a session, reviewing the paper, and more. Some of the major conferences that he's actively involved and is involved in right now include EE Technology for Education, ACM, CIGIR 2008, ESSIR 2007. We expect this webinar to last for about an hour with 40 to 45 minutes of presentation and the remainder time for Q&A round. So during the presentation, if you have any questions, please submit them using questions tab on your GoToMeeting control panel. So without further delay, I introduce you all to our guest speaker. Over to you, Professor.
Good afternoon, everybody. Let me thank TechGig organizers for giving me opportunity to talk to this audience. And I also thank all the audience who has joined now. Today, I'll be making a presentation on Digital India. And as you have noticed, a subtitle that I have given for this presentation is a world-scale opportunity within home. For the first time in human history, India has got a chance to be economically independent through this Digital India. As we all know that we got political independence in 1947, but indeed we have been depending on other countries for quite a number of things, including economic reasons. But for the first time in human history, we are getting a chance. And that is what is exciting about Digital India. Secondly, Digital India is something of a phenomenon which is going to affect each one of us. All earlier attempts that we had done, either electrification or building roads, they have not reached every corner of India. So some corners have benefited more from them and others they have not benefited. So today we have an initiative from the government with a wholehearted implementation from the agencies and government, which actually is trying to reach everybody and to convert everything into a new transformed way. So in today's presentation, I'll be talking about the idea, the intention behind this project, and how everybody is willingly participating in that. So I have a very simple agenda today. So Digital India project, what is the concept and what is the implications of that? And how IT industry is actually interested in making commitments wholeheartedly on this, and how industry leaders like Ambani's and Tata's and IBM and even Google, they are ready to invest their whole, bread and butter into this, and opportunity for the IT stakeholders. See, IT is a big thing because it is one which actually brought name and fame to India throughout the world, and now IT community is finding a chance within India what they have been doing elsewhere for the last 3 or so decades. And finally, this Digital India is also going to affect a lot many people, professionals, both positively and in a career-wise. So let me talk and start with Digital India concept. So what is it? So Digital India is a program. So what this program, this is actually a government program which intends to transform. See, when you say transform, it is a kind of a change which will bring the past behind and create a future for us. Okay, India into empowered society. So for the first time, we are talking about society level. Until then, actually, we are talking about, economic zones, selected areas for improvement and all. No, we are talking about entire society at this point, and the knowledge hub. So from actually agriculture to industrial to knowledge hub we are moving. So it's actually a pan-national project which is going to affect and benefit each one of us. And as you can see in the middle of the page, this actually, the government approved this project sometime back last year in August. So since August, a lot many efforts have gone this, and that is what I am going to present today. So when you have transformed the Digital India into conversion, actually you get something like this. Here on the screen, actually you see a digital village. So this is a result of our Digital India plan. And this Akodara village is actually a North Indian village which has only 200 households, and it is completely digitized. By that we mean that you actually see a classroom happening here, where actually they are using projector and computers to connect the students and the rest of the community. And this village is a model village for what could happen if India completely gets transferred into Digital India. So here actually every bank transaction is cashless. Every remittance that a farmer is getting actually is done through electronically. So this is taken by ICICI Bank, and they have done this. So this is shown as an example that if and when actually we realize the dream for every village, we have actually 6 lakh villages in India, and what is going to transform. And when you look at this, is actually this classroom no way different from one that is happening in any elite institute like an IIT or on. So all the facilities which are there are available. Why is that? Because now this is a digital village which is connected to the rest of the world through electronic communication means. What is it all about? So Digital India ensures the government services are made available to citizens electronically by reducing paperwork. Today we know that most of the government activities are paper-based, and we all have experienced these problems. Suppose you either apply for a passport or for a ration card or even for a land record, it takes 3 days of traveling, 3 days of interaction, and finally 1 day of getting that. All this is happening because our documents are paper-based. And even if you want to post a letter, even including actually a speed post, it will take about 3 days to reach the distant corners of India. So the government actually would like to overcome this and connect the entire Indian government activities and departments so that seamlessly the interactions should happen on electronical basis. The result should come electronically. Here in Karnataka, I show you an example. See, in Karnataka government actually has started a project called Mobile One. And you know, all that you have to do is you have to register this service using your mobile phone. And as you can see on the screen, which integrates about 4,500 services, whether you are applying for a kind of a land document, or if you are applying for a ration card, or if you are applying for a school certificate, you don't have to go to office at all. You just apply through this. And this has been seen as an example, a great example, or a model for the entire India. The Modi government in Delhi actually asked Karnataka government to share the secret and the functioning of this one, what actually can be implemented at national level. The second example I am showing you for a simple reason that, okay, so if the government decides to do certain things like Digital India, it can work wonders for us. It could be a state government like Karnataka or a national government. So the whole idea of Digital India is to make convenient conversation of the people, among the people, across the people, and actually across the government, so that most of the problems that we face today can be overcome. So what does it actually do? So what it actually is planning to do is very simple. As you can see on the screen here, actually middle there is a government, and left side there are citizens, and right side there is a government. There's a business. Today actually to take any work to be get done either by government or by actually the business, it takes a lot of time for a simple reason that most of the documents are physical in nature and we have to travel. Very recently actually I wanted to admit my daughter to a particular college, and taking TC took 3 days for me, and downloading another document took just 10 minutes of time. So this is to be eliminated. So the whole idea of Digital India is to connect on a digital backbone so that every country, every part of India becomes accessible easily and straightforward. So let me look into the deeper context of the Digital India. There is a vision for this. So what is that vision? Digital infrastructure as a utility. And we all know that we need not many utilities like water, electricity and all. And anybody who knows Indian history knows that electricity is not uniformly accessible in India. It's not available also. When you talk about roads, and there are parts of the countries which are not accessible by roads. And if you talk about railways, and there are parts of India where railway is not available. So this is one of the reasons why we are lagging behind. But what Digital India plans to do is a digital infrastructure will become a utility which can be accessed and reached to every Indian citizen. And once you put somebody on a highway like digital utility, then the rest will actually follow. And secondly, today, many of the government services you need to travel. If you're you're staying in a village and if you apply for a passport, then actually you have to go to the nearest town. So what this Digital India is planning to do is to build an infrastructure which is in the first stage and perform all these kind of activities on the digital platform that services can be available on demand. So what is the balance in my bank? You don't have to go to a bank. or what is the land that belongs to me, or the land that belongs to me. You don't have to travel to a taluka office. And finally, digital empowerment for citizens. Citizens actually biggest customers of any government, and today much of their activities are filled with lot many problems for a simple reason that there is no direct connection. So once this is established, then the point of actually accessing and delivering services becomes straightforward. So how do I do this? So first, I'm actually building a high-speed internet. Today, now we live in a network world. So it's not a question of building roads, building buildings. All that we have to do is in building a network. So one of the best way to build network is the internet, because the internet connects against the borders, against the time and all. So that is what we are planning to do. And cradle to grave identity. Today we have at least 15 different identity cards. Somebody uses ration card, somebody uses driving license, somebody uses some other document, marriage certificate and all. So this kind of a thing the Indian government wants to avoid, because that would create a lot of confusion and also kind of a labor. So it wants to create a kind of a document which is digital in nature, which can be used. That what I mean by that is something like Aadhaar card. Once this Aadhaar card is digitized, the identity of an individual across India becomes very simple and straightforward. So look at the screen, actually now connecting all this part of India through what we call internet high-speed networks. On the left side, you see, we are trying to connect at the lowest level, because India is a country of villages, and every village has an administrative entity called Gram Panchayat. So the whole idea of this digital India is to connect through a network to the smallest unit of Indian administration, that is Gram Panchayat. And they are planning to build this with many investment. For example, it's a dream of Indian government to build this kind of a connectivity so that actually they can connect to the individuals and connect to the users straightforwardly. Okay. So digital India vision, and the second vision of this is actually seamless integration across department. Today, and any businessman will know that if there is an application that you are giving for starting a new business, then you have to move between a couple of industries. One is pollution control, one is excise department, one is income tax department, one is commerce department, one is industry department. So this would take many things. Actually, according to some surveys across the world, it takes about 83 days to get a license in India and 3 years to close a company. So that is not going to happen in the digitized world for a single reason actually. Reason because everything is connected. So, and you also look at this, there is a wholehearted participation from industry. For example, now you look at the third one, say all citizens are entitlement to available directly. And now there is a company called eMudra which has actually come out with the e-signatures for Indian citizens. So these signatures actually like Visa card signatures, which can be used extensively for making a transaction. You don't have to go physically to go to a bank to withdraw money, or to physically go to a land record office to make a signature. So that means parallelly even industry is working a lot. The third one actually is universal literacy, and the third one actually you should look at is actually the availability of documents in your local language. So companies like, if you can see it in the red letters, companies like Google is actually focusing extensively in building what is known as Indic content. That means the content in the local languages, content which belongs to local. So one of the problems of search engine